Hey guys, and welcome to South Texas Football Unlimited, the Daylight Edition, the Coastal Bend's first original high school football podcast, webcast,
Yeah,
and surprisingly, we're actually ready. I've been up for about 30 minutes.
me
Uh,
too. I
dude,
guess
it's
that
been a
text. What's the hold up from
yeah, it's been a rough
from
set,
your
man. It's been a
familiar
very
face?
long, rough set. I don't know if you guys know this, but the chemical plant we work at, we've got a restaurant out there now. It's a very, very, very homely version of a Golden Corral out there with all you can eat buffet in one of our buildings out there. Dude, it is disgusting, the debauchery that's going on down there. I wish I would have saved some of those videos just to show folks what's going on out there. Uh
They don't need to see that. I'm
oh
not gonna lie.
man.
I woke up this morning and I wasn't even hungry.
Dude, I haven't been able
Wasn't
to
even
eat
hungry.
because we've been doing our own little thing over there, right? To kind of try to keep up with the Joneses, but we can't keep up with the heavy hitters that are down there in that other building, man.
No,
Uh
dude,
I
you're gonna
think we
hang.
did.
You can't hang with us.
Dude, but like last night, I really couldn't eat. I could not eat. I was just like, dude, I feel full, and it's day 4, you know. So
Imagine how
it
we
was
felt.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
It got so bad they Tyler last night 2 pies, and everyone was kind of being pretty pretty fair, like normal slice you would get, nothing over the top. Here he
Uh
comes, about a third of the pie.
huh.
Brad was pissed.
Dude, our chat window's not on here. I gotta.
I got the chat
Where's it?
window right up, right up. You got
See,
Refrio
mine's not
Sports,
show.
Jerry.
Well, I forgot. Oh, that's why. Here we go. All right, there we
Oh,
go.
there you
That's better. Yeah,
go. All right, cool.
yeah, that
All
showed
right.
up, but it wasn't showing up. Man, yeah. So the intern was in here messing around doing something. I don't know what he's doing in here, but yeah. So he messed with some of the settings.
Learning.
Yeah. Oh
Learning.
yeah. I hope so. All right. So I guess first item on the agenda, the Javelina watch. So
Big loss.
they took their first loss, right? 34-7 to Angelo State. So now we can go out and reach out to Mike, right? And see if he wants to come on the show. Right. Because it's over, right? All the routines, they've lost the game. So everything's kind of okay, cool. Now we can kind of jump in now.
Yeah.
But if you're a Javelina fan, I mean, you've got to be happy with the start of the season, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said before, we didn't see this coming. I don't think most people saw this coming. So, 7-1. I think the Angelo State loss, I kind of felt like that was coming.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to take that bet. But, you know, the fact that they're in there, they're competing, they were ranked. I'm not sure if I couldn't imagine you'd fall very far, if any, when you lose to the number 3 or number 2 team in the nation for your division of football. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think they're going to make a pretty good run. I would definitely like to get Mike back on. Mike was really fun to have on the show earlier, and it'd just be interesting to see because back then he was trying to build something. And he was
Yep.
trying to man, we got to really sell ourselves because it's getting harder and harder with the transfer portal, and then trying to compete with facilities. So it's like now you got a 7 and for right now, but hopefully, they continue on out. They have a good record to continue to show, like, hey, look, like we are doing something here, and like we are, and they are starting to kind of get some local kids from around this area. And you saw them go after the Brooks brother last year. You saw them go after the Cuero kid. So you still get a little bit of the same South Texas like vibe from that school, and
Yep.
it's kind of local, so it is nice because I felt like in the past, like we kind of got away from recruiting some of the kids down here that I felt like could have played there,
Yeah.
you know, and we did recruit some, and things happen, but it's like I felt like we were kind of overlooking. They were kind of overlooking the Coastal Bend and even some of the kids from the Valley, and they finally got some on the team, and it's nice to see that they're putting some good stuff on the field.
Yeah, Gary, they do look very good. So the next 3 teams on the schedule, Central Washington, Midwestern State, and Western Oregon. They could win all 3 or lose all 3. Looking at the matchups and the schedules and the common opponents that they've played so far and the point differentials in those wins, pretty close, man. I mean, so these teams could be pretty even right now. So, I mean, they're still in the running for a playoff spot. It's weird how they hand these playoff spots out in D2. I mean, both these teams, they could finish the season with that one loss Angelo State and still not get picked, right?
That's
Um,
weird.
yeah, so it's really weird. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how they go as the season goes out. But I mean, even a 7-4 finish, I think that's a pretty good season compared to where they've been the last few years, right? I think I'd be happy with 7-4. Just like you said, I don't think we expected anything like this
No,
over the
with
summer.
11-1 look. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So I agree with you though. 7-4 would be cool, but I'd like to see them get a couple more dubs.
Yeah. Definitely. And then this week, um, Elijah Huff
Broke the record.
broke the single season school rushing record held since 1999 by DeAndre Fillmore. Javier Ramirez hooked us up with the little graphics, and we've been putting that out every week with the Huff Watch that we've been putting on. We were trying to get Elijah and Coach Smithy on the show for a couple minutes, but having to go to the daytime, it interfered with school, obviously, right, and their athletic period, so we couldn't get that done. So we're looking to get them on next week. But congratulations, Elijah still has one more game left. Actually,
Yep.
did they have they had their bye week yet? Let me look at the schedule real quick.
I think they did.
They
I
could
thought.
have two games.
I think they have one more game left for sure.
Let's pull that up real quick. Anybody watching wants to help us out? Let us know. Just hop in there. Here we
Yeah, no,
go.
did you pull it up?
Yeah, I got it right here. Yeah, this is their last game. It's against Sitten. So their bye week's the last week of the Sitten. Actually, what day is this? It doesn't even have the date on here. It just says up next. Let's see. Preview. Oh, there it was. It's right there.
They got sent this week.
Yeah, so it is this week. Yeah, the 28th. So yeah, so
Last
they got
one
their
is
bye week in week 11. So he's got another week to add a few yards to that thing and tuck that away. I think that one's going to sit for a while. I think.
Well, he's still also leading the state too, so you can't just you can't overlook that as well, right?
Is he leading the state? Because Max Preps is sketchy, right? Not everybody updates their stuff to Max Preps, and that's according to Max Preps.
Well, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, we'll take it, but keep that in mind, right? Not everybody uses Max Preps. We have local schools here that don't use Max Preps,
which is a shame because it's a great tool to promote your kids.
Big time.
So,
that's what I was going to pull up and I forgot. So the Battle of the Royal was this past week, and obviously we've been pushing that a lot. Really regretting not going. Right,
yeah.
Just looking at the atmosphere of what was going on in that game. 10,000 plus at that game, standing room only, and man, it was just electric. Dave Campbell's was down there. I mean, if you saw some of their stuff that Ish and Matt Stepp had put out while they were there, man, it was a good one, dude.
I thought it was kind of neat seeing them bring in the Coast Guard helicopter right over
on the
state.
flyover, right?
That was cool.
Yeah, I've been trying to rack my brain on how I can get that to happen over here, but we'll see. We probably got to win a few.
It would have been the playoff game with Miller and Vets in the afternoon game. That would have been the time to do it back in 18 or 19, one of those years.
Hey,
that
was
the time to do it.
AC, get that going, dude. Right? I mean, we've got the Coast Guard helicopters. We also got the Naval Training Base, right, in Kingsville and in Corpus, where you can actually get the. I think they fly T-38s or T-37s or T-36s, maybe all three, depending on which track they're on. Whether they're going to go heavies or fighters, it's one of those three variations. And I think they even have some T-6s. But yeah, I mean, they need flight hours to get their time, their training in, and things like that to be a perfect opportunity. I don't know why that's never been done out here before. Maybe it has. Maybe we're missing. But that's
that'd be a good one to start petitioning for on a big playoff game down here, honestly.
Oh, big time. Right. But the atmosphere, like I said, can the Coastal Bend replicate that?
I don't get it, man. I do not understand why that's such a hard feat for us to do. Because, whatever. People could say whatever they want. But I've put Coastal Bend football, I think we're better. I think in general we normally have more of the better teams around versus the Valley schools. But so it's like, why can't we get the support? Like I agree, there's some big schools in the Valley that they are really good, and they would obviously handle us. But it's like I don't understand why with the fan bases around here we can't get that kind of support for big games. And it was kind of there for the Miller and Vet series, right? When they pretty much almost sold out Buck that year, but it's like. Wasn't seeing a lot of tailgating, wasn't seeing a lot of partying going on. It was just kind of like, show up, watch the game, roll out. Whereas when we went down to the boats a couple years ago, I mean, it seemed like they shut down school at 12 o'clock and started partying.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it would be nice to have that kind of environment down here. I mean, honestly, because it's just cool to be a part of. And, I don't see why we couldn't. We have a ton of fans down here, a lot of people that like football. So you'd think it would be something that could be replicated.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, maybe it's because, San Benito is a one district or one high school ISD, and CCISD is a 5 school ISD, and maybe it's a little harder that way. I mean, I don't know. Harlingen, they are a multi-school ISD, Harlingen South and Harlingen, and they've got Gano, I think, which is a freshman academy, which is new that has popped up over there. But still, I mean, you've got 2 games in town, right? The Hawks and
Cards.
the Cards. So I don't know, man. And then plus, I mean, there was some debate online whether it was the 110th meeting or 97th meeting. I mean, that game goes back 100 years, man. Those 2 teams have played each other, and I think that's including playoff matchups as well.
Yeah.
But it's just there, and I don't know. I guess it's that neighboring community thing. It is. It's called the Battle of the Arroyo for a reason. San Benito and Harlingen, there is an arroyo that is on the city limit lines. And that's what essentially separates it. That's your only marker other than a sign of what divides the town. So it is right there. They butt up against each other. So
I mean, honestly, all our rivalries around here have kind of lost a little luster to them as well. I mean, they've been pretty lopsided the last like 10 years. So I could get that point, but yeah, it would be nice to have something like the Battle of the Arroyo here.
Yeah, or some just anything to create the atmosphere, right? I guess just like you said, Miller Vets is probably the closest that we've got to that right
Yeah,
now. Right
that
now,
was.
maybe. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, but speaking of atmosphere and records and whatnot, we were able to sit down with a guy who didn't actually set a record, but set a personal accomplishment, right? A personal record that he wanted to meet, and that's Cutter Stewart. Cutter Stewart is a member of the 10,000 career passing yards club now. So we're able to get a couple minutes with Cutter and Alice head football coach Kyle Atwood here. So we're not going to do too much talking on that. We'll let them speak for itself. Okay, so for this episode, we're going to try something a little different. With this whole new studio, we're trying to take it to its limits. So we found something cool. So because of work schedules, we're actually recording this a day ahead of our live air date. So it is what, Tuesday at noon, right?
Yeah.
So we've got Alice athletic director, head football coach Kyle Atwood, and quarterback one extraordinaire Cutter Stewart. How are you gentlemen doing this afternoon? It's been a while.
Doing well.
Thanks for taking the time to jump on. We know you guys are busy today. It's y'all's athletic period right now. Like I said, it's noon on Tuesday. So we really do appreciate that, just to spend a couple of minutes with us. We're not going to take up too much of your time. So last Friday, and most folks didn't know, we didn't know that you were coming up on this career milestone. Is this something you had your eyes on as the season approached, or is it something that kind of came up?
Honestly, been looking to do that ever since I started playing football. Just me and my dad have always been looking at the all-time stats and all that, and seeing these big names up there. And when we saw, Andrew Body do it, we're thinking, okay, well, this is reality. We can definitely go chase this. So whenever it came up this past week, it was kind of just a big sigh of relief. Finally hit it. Now it's got to keep moving forward.
What's the goal moving forward, Cutter? Right. Obviously, football's a team sport, and I know y'all's team goal is to go as far as you can in the playoffs, and you're having a good season. But if you looked at that list, and Coach might get mad about that, but just how far do you think you can get up on that list before it's you're hanging up the high school pads?
Honestly, just go on as far as I can. Just climb the ladder. There's a lot of big names out there. I think right now I'm like right underneath Kyler Murray. So, you put that in perspective, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Andrew Body's way up there, Everett up there. And then you have the kid from Refugio a couple years ago. And number one, I think it was Ganell, and he's way up there. That's realistic. I'm not be able to catch him. But hopefully being top 10 all time would be, pretty cool.
I have you at 10,106. Is that a correct number?
I think so. It's pretty close.
Okay, DCTF only goes up to the top 20, right? So right now that has you right outside the top 20 at number 21, in between Philip Darley from Bridgeport from 2000 to 2002, and Chandler Dane from Decatur, which from 2002 to 2004. Chandler had 10,046 yards. So, looking at y'all's schedule, the next couple of weeks, tonight included, I mean, you can climb up that list pretty quick, and that's not even including playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Kyle, what's it been like this season?
No, it's been extremely exciting. We've ran the same style of offense. This is now my 11th year to be a head coach and call the offense. We ran a style of offense that really requires your quarterback to be able to do a lot of things. RPO read, run the ball when you need to, you know, post snap RPO reads, things of those natures. And we've had some really good ones at San Angelo Central. We had one pretty good one in San Angelo Great Creek, and then we've had a couple here. But obviously, you get a guy with the knowledge of the game, the leadership skills that Cutter has, and then the ability that he has. As a play caller and as a head coach, it gives you an opportunity to just take a sigh of relief. Like, all right, let's go call a play. We know he's going to put it where it needs to be, and we've got some playmakers out there at the receiver and running back position that can get the job done after that. So it's been a phenomenal year. I was excited to see him, surpass 10,000 yards last week. I think like you talked about, there's a couple games left on the schedule. But in the same token, last week he threw for 268, and against one of the best teams in the state of Texas defensively against Cal Allen, he throws for 360 something. So whenever he's only playing three quarters, we had 2 defensive touchdowns. We ended up only running 21 offensive plays, and I think he was only out there on the field for 18 of those. Kind of limits the amount of opportunities he has to really develop and create some more stats. So, but I think he does a great job when he's out there, and he's definitely a gamer. So we're excited to have him as part of our program and one of our leaders this year.
It's got to be a pretty cool buzz around the locker room right now, right? So did the team know, I guess, going into Friday's game that you were this close?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about it a whole lot. I knew where he was at coming into the season, and obviously we do weekly stats and then year-to-date stats. So I knew that he was about 135 to 140 away. So I just went ahead and kind of let our statisticians know and our coaches in the press box, hey, we're going to call a timeout whenever he gets close to 140 and make this announcement. So until we did that, I don't think that our kids really even knew about it.
That's a pretty cool moment to get, right? I mean, I've always been a fan of y'all's offense. So when I saw Cutter was coming over to Alice this year, like you said, you've had really good quarterbacks in the past at Alice. Obviously, y'all have had some really good playmakers. But, I mean, we've been around Cutter, since he was a pup, as a freshman.
Yeah.
We've seen him. We've talked about him a lot. So, we kind of understood what y'all were getting. And I thought it was a match made, right? Perfect for Cutter to be coming over into that offense. So, it's awesome to see, it's really cool to see y'all took the time out, let him get that acknowledgement, which most people you think would, but sometimes you get lost in the game and whatnot. But to be able to get acknowledged for 10K, I mean, that's something that, that doesn't happen very often, which is really cool that it's a South Texas kid. It's really cool that it's a kid that's kind of pretty close to us in the show. And then, y'all been welcoming before coming on. So it's a good experience, I think, all around for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, and Alice is a huge football town. 100 and close to 120 years of football has been played here. But you look at the passing leaders in the state, you look at the rushing leaders in the state. We don't have one of those. So we want to make sure it's something that we gave our fans as well. Just the acknowledgement to Cutter, and then just giving back to the community and to our fans that, hey, like, this is obviously only 1 year here with us, but we've welcomed him in. His parents have been phenomenal, and our community's welcomed them into our community. And so I think it was big time for him Friday night.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're not going to take up too much of your time. We know y'all got a game plan to get ready for on Friday. You still got, like I said, still got 2 more games, 2 more winnable games. We're not going to count those as wins right away. Anything can happen, right? It's a Friday night. But man, we wish you guys the best moving forward, and hopefully for a deep playoff run. We'd like to see you crack that top 10. That'd be pretty cool to have another one from the Coastal Bend in the top 10. Justin, you got anything else before we go?
I want a rematch. I want to see the Cal Allen and Alice showdown again. I enjoyed it,
man.
I'll be honest. I thought, I legit thought Cal Allen's gonna get a couple scores and take that one, and for y'all to hang in there. And the game plan y'all had, Cutter, you played really well. You had a great team effort all together, right, in that game. And I know it hurts, right? I mean, you're that close in that interception end zone, possibly, tying it up and taking it to overtime. So I'd love to see it, for us locally in South Texas, in the playoffs. That could be a potentially really fun rematch. So I'm hoping I'll get there, and I'm hoping Callan gets there so we can all see it.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough
love
one.
moving forward for sure.
Yeah, us as well. It was if you're a fan of football, that was a Friday night that you wanted to be a part of.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, the atmosphere was electric.
I personally think that Cal Allen's one of the best in our region. So I think if we take care of business and continue to get better like we have, I think that there's a good opportunity to see that rematch. And I know that's what our staff and our kids are looking forward to as well. But obviously, got to take it 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Cutter, you got anything before we go?
Not much, man. It's honestly, thanks for having us on here. It's always a pleasure talking with y'all. You get to keep up with y'all on Twitter and TikTok and all that good stuff. So y'all keep that going, man.
Yeah, hey man, we're doing, man, anything to put you guys in the spotlight. Again, Coach Cotter, thanks for coming on, man, and good luck this Friday, and hopefully we'll check in before the season ends.
Absolutely, thanks guys for everything.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, dude, that actually came out pretty well. Right.
Yeah, it was nice getting a break.
Yeah.
So when you put my coffee cup, I was hoping that I wasn't on in the background. I'm like, I wonder what Jacob thinks I'm doing right when I bailed out.
Dude, I kept I was like, I kept looking at you on the recording. I'm like, what is he doing? Like thinking it's live. It was just something in my head, dude. I don't know. I'm dumb.
Yeah, I just didn't even pay attention to it. I just was listening in the background that way because it was a little confusing. But it was cool. No, it was good. That was a good experience, and that's something I like. Hopefully we can get Brad and Elijah on, and even if they can't do it in the same setting, just get them both on the screen with us next week would be nice. Just be able to talk and kind of highlight Elijah and what Brad and them have done over at West Osos so far.
Yep. All right, so let's jump into week 9. So a couple of recaps here. Carroll Victoria West 50 to 35.
Tough loss.
West in this one. Yeah, dude, it was 22-20 at the half. Yeah. I guess the big difference in there was Kamuri Montgomery, who was the running back at West, 243 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yep. And then Pepper as well, 17 to 23, 165 yards, 2 TDs for West. That did it, right? That knocks Carroll out of the playoffs. That was the key takeaway from there, right?
Yeah, I think if there's like an Armageddon situation, like there's a very dark horse chance that Carroll can jump in. But
the only person in the Coastal Bend that knows any of that is Statman.
Yeah, definitely. And that's
he's over there crunching numbers as we speak.
Oh, probably, dude. He probably hasn't slept since the week was over, trying to figure out these scenarios. So if you're not following Quentin Martinez on Twitter, or if don't have a subscription to the Caller Times, he's definitely worth it. Man, he pumps out good information, and dude, he keeps very accurate numbers.
This is about the time of the year. You don't be surprised. I actually think Caller Times just had one published, and it was probably done by him the other day, and it was playoff implications. So he's already, like I said, he's already been working on it. I guarantee you, Friday night he went home, started working on it all day. Saturday and Sunday was working on it.
Yeah. So, and speaking of playoff implications, the Padilla poll put out their projections, and that's not even at the season finished today. That's how he projects the next 2 weeks of the season are going to go, and has got his brackets out there. We posted that last night, probably about 9:00, from 6A on down to 2A. The playoff projections, and you can look at the brackets and see where it's going to come out. There's going to be some if everything pans out, very interesting round 2 matchups.
There's I don't want to get too crazy, but if you look at it, man, Cal Allen has a legit chance in that region to make some serious noise. Barney being I think the biggest threat, and obviously I think Alice, don't count Alice out. They'll have to face Bernie first.
Somerset too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, but yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun to look at that as it moves forward.
So Carroll got better every week, right? They got better every week. So keep an eye on the Tigers in the future, man. I mean, I know their season's done now, but next year, I mean, they lose a couple guys who probably have been overlooked the last couple years, just because of the state of the program. And, this year they've actually been able to have some of their kids shine. So it's actually been pretty cool. So
yeah, I'm rooting for Carroll, man. I want them to get back to their winning ways. The Battle of the Bridge used to be a really big thing when I was a little kid. Our boy Groceries, he played in the Battle of the Bridge, so I guarantee he was part of some times when it was super intense and ultra competitive, and it's kind of gotten away from that the last couple, God, for a while now. So me personally, I've always been favorable to Carroll out of the corporate schools, so I would love to see Carroll kind of get back to the winning ways and start applying some pressure to these teams around them.
Yep. Next one up, Rockport, Fulton, and Floresville, 35-21 Floresville. This was it's kind of a shocker, right? I think we both had Rockport in this one.
Yeah, man, it's tough, dude. It's tough. Rockport's have one of those seasons, man, where it's not panning out.
Dude,
How you would want, right? 35-21 to Floresville. I was a little shocked by that. I thought Rockport bounced back with a nice win here. They needed it bad. So key takeaway from that was that they are on the outside looking in now. And I started, we have that at the end of the show. We're going to talk about, but I started kind of looking at it, man, and it's going to be similar situation, but I think there is a little light at the tunnel that Odom's in as well. But for Rockport, they have to have a lot of stuff go right for them. But the matchups kind of lean that way. But they are on the backs against the wall big time here.
Yep.
And what's crazy is they put up 427 yards of total offense against Floresville.
Yeah, it was identical, right? They had 427.
Floresville
had 420. Yeah, so I talked to the large angry man last night. I was like, dude, what gives? And it was turnovers. Rockport turned it over inside the 5 on a mishandled snap. And that offense, Justin, we've talked about it before. It's a timing oriented offense. If you're just a little bit off, I think the snap was low on that one. It went in the running back's thigh and it just bounced off his thigh, and Floresville recovered, stopped the score there. And then same thing happened inside the 17. They're driving for a score. And it was, I don't know if you couldn't tell if it was a good strip or not, but it was another turnover. And then penalties at the inopportune times, extending drives, leading to touchdowns. So, I mean,
I'll kill you, man. That's the difference right there.
That's it right there. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting how that district shakes out. We'll talk about that later. But Rockport on the losing end of that one, just like you said. Looking in.
The one thing though is that I did note, and this I think has been his best performance to date, is Ace. He was 14-27. He had 296 in the air and 3 TDs. So I don't remember the last time I've seen him almost touch 300 yards in the air, but it seems like they threw a lot more, considering the fact that they went back to wing T 2 weeks ago when they started district. So it'd be interesting to kind of see if did they go back to shotgun completely. I need to ask Luke that, but tough break.
Then we've got Taft versus Hebronville. Taft continues just their domination of that district, 48-13. I thought I had a Hebronville in this one. I thought Hebronville was going to be a little.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude.
I thought Hebronville was going to be more physical.
Come on over. Come on over.
But again, it's the Acosta Suarez show again.
I would like Jerry to apologize. I've been with Taft for a while now. And
you've got family relations to that district, right? For a while, right? So we're gonna call you a homer and get you a hat. All right.
I need a hat, dude. Where's Cat? I need a hat. Maybe you finally get over that the backyard loss. Come on over to the Taft side, man. Good, right? Firmly in the driver's seat for that DC, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things that could happen this week, but I don't see them happening the next couple of weeks of the season.
Dude, they've honestly, I mean, those two losses, I think did some good. It kind of woke them up because we haven't really seen them, have the struggles that they had after that. I'm still shocked at the Three Rivers loss, but they seemed like they were doing good. They would struggle in the second half. It's been all gas ever since they took those 2 losses, dude. And it's cool. They're going to make a decent run, and it's going to be fun because Acosta and Suarez are accounting for a lot of yardage, and the defense is playing good.
And the other part about that is okay, that can't be your focal point are these guys, because they still have other playmakers on that just don't get it enough. I think the Rivera kid, Efren Ozuna, Oscar's little brother, dude,
Reese Robertson is a good athlete who doesn't get utilized much.
Yeah, I mean they've got playmakers, so it's not just these 1 and 2 guys. So they could be a force in this playoff run in this region. So we'll see, man.
Had clinched the playoff spot though.
They did. So they got a seeding game this week, and that was before the district season started. There was talk about those guys not making the playoffs. That's what the grumbling were coming out of their camp was hey, the streak could end, and here they are back in. Yep. So congratulations to both those guys. Orange Grove, West Oso, 66-33 Orange Grove.
Wasn't a lot on this one.
No, the only thing I saw is Oso had 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions and a fumble, and that could have been the difference. I mean, that probably could have kept the West Oso score down, to 33 points.
Yeah.
Elijah Huff again breaks the record in this game. Had a very decent game, 238 yards still. I think it was
I think
238.
it's important to note that so West Oso's in the playoffs. They got the 4th spot.
There's a chance. There's a chance of them again, doomsday Armageddon scenario where they cannot make it, but it would involve Robstown beating it would involve Robstown beating Orange Grove this weekend and then winning the last game. Yeah. So yeah, but mathematically speaking, there is a chance, right? Whether it
that's
happens
got to be the lowest stat line of all time.
So Orange Grove, so Orange Grove has to win out, right? Just to maintain their seeding, but they're pretty much in. These are your 4 teams, right? It's going to be Orange Grove, West Oso, Sinton, and Ingleside, right? So, not a whole lot on that one.
Hey, but if OG beats Ingleside, well, whatever. We got that's coming up. We can talk about that later. But OG's got a chance. OG can still can still make a nice push in this district. They might have a chance for a DC.
It would
take a lot, but they could do it
because they've lost to Sinton already, and they lost pretty bad to Sinton. It was last week or the week before.
Yeah, I don't get them. They're the biggest question mark team I've ever seen.
Yeah. And then our last one, I think we both had Orange Grove in that one, right? We had Orange Grove in that one.
I actually think I took West Oso.
Did you? I have to. I don't know what I did with my picks.
I think I took West Oso.
But Rebecca went. She had one. I think she had all of them again this week except one. I think it was the Rockport Foot and Floresville game. I think that she got wrong. But she's obviously leading the picks again.
Big time.
Yeah. Hey, Billy Sweeney. How you doing, Billy? Checking in. And then Banchetti versus Odom. Banchetti's still in the hunt for a playoff spot. That district is going to come down to week 11 to determine who's going to get in where and where they're going to be getting in at. Odom officially out. Well, just like you said, there's a doomsday Armageddon scenario where they could get in, but it is very, 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 very slim. The playoff streak of 11 consecutive season ends this year. So
Becca had that right as well. She took Banchetti, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Well, it is what it is, right? So
can she like go out in public and not take heat now? Or
dude, my wife's 100% where she's like, I'm not from Odom. I live in Odom. That's what she says. That's the first thing she says when you're from Odom. She's like, no, I live there. I'm not from Odom. That's what she says.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
That Sea-Town pride. Yeah, that blood runs deep with my wife. So,
fair enough, though. Fair enough.
All right. So the surprise is not a whole lot. There was one big one, right? And it's Bevo versus Port Lavaca Calhoun. 24-21 Calhoun. I had to dig into this one. I had to go to the Advo to get some.
Advo's good for this one.
And the big difference was right before the end of the half. Bevo running back broke away in a 57-yard. Could have been a touchdown, but the Port Lavaca player never gave up on the play, tackled him inside the 10, forced a field goal attempt, and was blocked. So the score was 17-14 Port Lavaca at the half. 2 touchdowns scored in the second half, and that was it. The story of this game, Port Lavaca's defense stepped up. They had 3 turnovers on consecutive drives in the fourth quarter that Bevo could not capitalize on. So the opportunities were there for Bevo to take this one, but that Calhoun team, their defense stuck together and they pulled out the win. On those 4 drives, they could not go for field goals because Bevo's holder and their deep snapper got hurt in the game. So they didn't want to attempt any. So it snowballed, right?
Reaction, right?
For Beeville in this one, right? Just it's those things that happen, right? It's football. I mean, injuries happen, and wow.
What's crazy, real quick though, we appreciate the people that have tuned in from work. Honestly, we do.
Yeah.
We hate the daylight shows because we get it, right? You're at work, but David, we appreciate it. Teron, we appreciate it. Jerry, we appreciate you. Billy, we appreciate it. No, dude, if you kind of look at it, PLC is a team that's got a chance to go into the playoffs with like a 2-8 record or 2-7, or I mean, like really bad record. And same with Heb. You go back a little bit on Heb, same way. So it's kind of crazy. I did not expect PLC to upset Beeville like that. at all. So it's going to be interesting. That district is shaping up crazy, which we'll
Dude,
talk about. But that
that's the
district
monkey
is shaping
wrench
up
for this
crazy.
district. Everybody kind of picked out where they were going to go and what seed they were going to get in, and then this happens, right?
Yep,
So
for
it
sure.
did it mass chaos, and I love it, dude. It's pandemonium, right?
Chaos, dude.
Uh,
Nothing like chaos.
Billy, I think there is only one team in South Texas that has the 4-team district, and
That's
that's
the
that
Bishop
4A
district, correct?
4A D2 district with Bishop, Port Isabel, Grula, and who was that fourth school? It's another Valley school.
Montelto? Not even
No,
Montelto.
Roma, I think. Hey, El Paso Facebook. Hey, you came in as an anonymous Facebook user, but thanks for checking in. It's probably
I bet
Zuck.
that's Bridger.
Oh, is that Bridger? Oh
Could
yeah.
be.
Hey, Bridger. I hope so. Yeah.
I hope it's Bridger.
Yeah.
Wait,
So man, so again,
big
pretty
one.
cool, right? So
Big one.
I love it. So let's jump into our games of the week, right? So
Woo!
we had two. We kind of hit it on the second one a little bit. Probably should have hit it a little more during the game of the week portion, but we'll jump into the local one first, right? Miller versus Veterans, 38-34 Vets, and what's probably been one of the best games that we've seen in the area outside Cal Allen Alice, like we talked about in
It was a
yesterday's
good one.
interview. Yeah. Lots of thoughts.
You were there.
Lots
You
of
were
thoughts,
there.
man.
I was watching. So you were there at the game. I was stuck working, and I'm not even gonna lie. I was watching it.
Yeah.
And I also had the Shiner interfere game.
Raymondville. Thank you, Noah. No, it was Raymondville was the other school.
So 8-1. Vets is 8-1 in that matchup now.
I think it's
Overall,
9-1, isn't it?
I thought it was 7-1 going into last week. Maybe either way, dude. It's heavily favored on the vet side.
Mr. Durrett, what David, you guys, what is it? Is it 7-1 or 8-1 or 9-1? I had written down 9-1, I think, so maybe I read it wrong.
I don't know. I thought it was 7-1 going into last week, but I could be wrong.
But yeah, Miller's
Either
only
way,
win is the overtime win in the
district.
regular season 2 years ago with Andrew Body, and that was the Carter Center Fit injury game, right? Coming back from that injury, rushed back from that leg injury that he had against Flower Bluff.
8-1 now, I think.
Yeah, 8-1. So we're in between, right? We're right in the middle. Man, I thought Miller and dude, talk about eating crow, right? I said I don't know what vet team's going to show up, but I know what Miller team was going to show up. I did not expect that. I didn't expect that performance, right?
No.
And dude, it was you're just waiting, right? You're waiting for Miller to take control of this game, and it never got there, right?
No.
Man, Luke Johnson moved him down from safety to corner to cover Lonnie Atkinson and did a very good job. Held Lonnie to 90 yards and no touchdowns. Okay, 7-1. Before it was 6-1. Okay. Did a very good job of essentially if you hold Lonnie Atkinson down to 90 yards, that's a shutdown day, right? And no
That's
touchdowns.
a good day. I mean, you that's your only chance of winning is to slow down Lonnie.
And we said that, right? We've said that before, not necessarily for this game, but if you're going to double up on Lonnie, and we're talking more along the playoff runs, that you've got these other weapons that can take over, right? Jaden Moreno had a fantastic game.
He did.
I think he almost had 200 yards receiving, I think, if I remember right.
He had
three touchdowns.
He had 194, 3 TDs on 8 catches.
Yeah.
So he ate. Trevor Long threw for 371 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And they couldn't get the running game going. Corey Holmes had about 100 yards, I think. Didn't use Ethan Greenwood a lot. Used him in short yardage situation, but didn't have him like the bust type of thing that he would do before. It's not what I thought. And hats off to Vets defense, man. I mean, it was a bend but don't break defense. They gave up a lot of points. Very electric third quarter. If you guys were watching from home or were there. And then it just came to a screeching halt in the fourth quarter. And at that point, it was whoever scores was going to win the game. And that's essentially what happened, right? Jaden Castaneda had a great game, almost 100 yards, all-purpose yards, had the winning touchdown, had a nice breakaway run for another. Luke Moya had a nice breakaway run there in the first quarter. So it was there. I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of these teams moving forward. I don't.
Well, I mean, Durrett played good, 23 of 34, 230, and he had 129 on the ground. 3 picks,
Yep.
but Lonnie's a ball hawk in the secondary, right? It's hard to throw that many times with Lonnie in the secondary and not lose track of him a little bit, right? I thought it was a little sloppy, honestly.
A lot of penalties. A lot of penalties.
It was a loss. It was kind of sloppy throughout that game, and it just seemed like the entire time, like once Miller got that lead in the I think late second quarter, it was like, all right, like this is sloppy, but Miller's probably going to find a way to pull this thing out. And then you have a 11-point lead with under 3 minutes left in the game, and it was kind of like, okay, like Miller's probably going to take this one. But I was at the time was like a little just kind of shocked and maybe even a little disappointed with the performance Miller put out there, right? Because I kind of expected a little more from Miller going into that game, right? But like you said, credit to Vets. They played a really good game, had a good game plan, and they did what they needed to win this game. And then the last 3 minutes happened, right? And I was for a whole day there, I was just still kind of in shock and awe of what transpired, right? Because they, like Mr. Durrett said, 15 points right there with a minute 13 to go. They scored 28 points in the final 12 minutes of this game combined, whatever it was. So it was just like that chain reaction that was ripping off was just like it was crazy. And the onside kick, I had a feeling when they hit the onside kick, I was like, man, this is good. I felt like Vets was going to get it, and I felt like if Vets got the onside kick, I was like, that's it. They're going to go down, score, and win. And it happened. It happened just like that, man. So it's crazy. It was an interesting game. It was a fun game to watch. I wish I would have been there live. These games have always kind of seemed like this year, I thought was going to be a blowout. And it turned into being a pretty good one. 38-34 is another little classic in the rivalry, right?
I mean, we both thought it was going to be a blowout.
Yeah. So, Vets now in control of the district championship here on out. They went on out. They get the district championship. Add another one to the list. Ben Bittner continuing to surprise people over there.
Big John.
Yeah, dude. And I don't think this defines the Miller team at all. They're still a very good team. I think people may be overlooking the fact that Vets is still are Vets, right? They're still a good team around here. And I think just some of the prior performances this year has kind of made people think, maybe this isn't the Vets past, right? But hey, they're winning games now when it needs to be done. They've only taken 2 losses on the year, and I think the Canyon loss has aged pretty well because Canyon's had a good season. So both these teams are going to make some good runs. If you look at their region for the playoffs, I think Vela is going to be the big one in that region
and North.
So those 2 Valley schools and our 2 schools up here, they're going to be hitting each other. So it's going to be interesting to watch this play out, as it goes. And I think this is a little wake up call for Miller, and nothing to be ashamed about. And we didn't touch on it earlier, but I think some of the comments said to some of the Miller kids and coaching staff went a little far.
A little bit. Don't be that guy. Don't be that parent. We preach to these kids. Coaches preach to these kids accountability. Be accountable for your actions, right?
Yeah.
Using burner phones and burner accounts to say X, Y, and Z to folks. Be accountable for what you're going to say.
You're attacking people that are volunteering, that have dedicated their lives, right, their careers to try to make the youth better and teach them something, right? Like they pick up the void of the parents when the parents are at work and not around when the kids have to go to school, right? So you want good men, right, in your kid's life as their coaches. I mean, you've had it before. I've had it before. Good coaches help mold, good young men for the most part, right? So don't attack them. So what? They missed a couple calls. Happens.
Yeah. And at the end of the day,
burn somebody. At the end of the day,
it's still a kid's game. It's a
kid's game, man, and it's not the end of the world. One loss. Let's not forget where you came from. You know what I mean? Like, this is a good thing you got going over there. Don't ruin it.
Yeah.
So it was a good game. I was still a little shocked by it, but it was a good game. And like you said, I'm hoping that we get that playoff matchup as well. We can get some of the fighter jets, just the Jets, to come in.
Yep. Yeah, Gerald, you just missed it. We just covered that. Yeah. The game of the week, number 2, Billy just checked out too. Refugio versus Shiner. I think the state had their eyes on this one. There was a lot of good games this weekend. Battle of the Arroyo, Vets Miller. Refugio Shiner, the Military Bowl that we could not cover because nobody ever got back to us. And we actually that week had somebody reach out. Oh, come out. It's like, dude, we tried. Nobody ever got back with us.
I know.
Man, this was a surprising stat to me that I saw is that, dude, they've only played each other 10 times. That's it. 10 times.
Shiner and Refugio?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. They were always in like different differences. Refugio dropping down, I think, is what helped that.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that surprised me. Only 10 times, and Refugio leads the series 7-3, including Friday night's game. I didn't even have the score on here. Man, I left that one off. What was the score in that game? Let me pull it up real quick. You watched it, Justin, right? You watched all of it.
I had it written down. I don't know where I put it. Yeah, no, dude, it was honestly the most defining moment of that entire game was in the fourth quarter. Refugio was backed up at their about 11-yard line on a 4th and 1, 38-27.
38-27. Thank you, Lonzo.
They were backed up on about the 12-yard line on a 4th and 1. And at the time, Shiner seemed to be, carrying a lot of momentum right there. They had moved the ball. Brooks had scored, and they were kind of slowing down that Refugio offense, right? And I was like, man, this isn't looking good. It's kind of looking like last year whenever they started, clamping down on Refugio, and then Elijah Bland happened, right? And he busted like an 80-yarder, almost 90-yard touchdown run on that 4th and 1, and that was kind of the momentum springer for him. And then after that, Refugio, they come out, get a stop, and go right back down there and score again. And that was kind of the difference maker. Refugio's defense ended up clamping down Shiner at that point, and then Refugio's offense pounded out the rest of the way and took over from there. But it was a good game the entire time. It was very good. Refugio led at halftime, I believe, when I was watching. It just seemed like the first half, Refugio came out with a game plan to pound the rock down their throat, and they did. Mm-hmm. And then it came out in the second half, and Shiner kind of adjusted to it, right? And then Dalton Brooks is Dalton Brooks, and he kept it interesting. And, after that, it was the 4th and 1 was, I think, the backbreaker kind of, because it gave all the momentum back to Refugio late in the game. And then they got a huge stop, and it was like, all right, man, like, here we go. And then that was it. Refugio took over and did what they had to do. And, yeah, Ernest Campbell, man, he's speedster. He caught an incredible pass. He had 4 catches, 66 yards on TD, and he had I don't know if you saw the highlight, but he had an excellent grab down the end zone. That was a big play for them as well. Bland, 295, 3 touchdowns, and he also had an interception that kind of helped seal the game towards the end. So it was good, man. They outscored Shiner 19-6 in the fourth quarter. So that was the difference maker.
Remember, let's rewind a little bit and go to that Hitchcock loss. Remember, the big thing was, we're trying to ball control offense, for this game, essentially, right? We're trying to get away from the spread and keep the ball on the ground, and it bit us, right? Is what the Refugio crowd was saying. They had 510 yards of offense, Refugio did, and 410 yards on the ground. So mission accomplished, right? They did exactly what they said they were going to do, and it turned out. And just like you said, Dalton Brooks, he's going to get his own 163 yards. On the ground, A&M commit. And, if you've seen this guy, this is your prototypical running back, right? Or college D1 athlete, right?
Safety too.
And then you've got Elijah Bland, who went toe to toe with this guy, right? Who's 5'5" on a good day.
Yeah.
Right?
Easy.
Very fast though. One thing I got to ask of the Refugio guys on here, Death Valley. Is that new? Is that something? I've never heard that stadium called Death Valley. Is that something?
Yes, Billy.
Yeah, Billy, I know you're in here. Is that something that just started up? Because Bland likes to throw that one out there a lot. A lot of post-game interviews. Hey, they came into Death Valley and they're going to come. Not many people come out of here alive, he says. So Alonzo, it's been around for years. I've never heard it. I've never heard it called Death Valley. Man, anything else on the Refugio Shiner game, Justin?
Not much, man. Just that's another one. That's probably going to be another regional final right there. If you look at it, it looks pretty favorable for that to happen again. And I think Mason might be the only threat to Shiner on the top half, but I haven't looked too hard. I'm not sure if, I know Mason's kind of had a couple struggles in the past couple years, not being quite as good in the years that Refugio took him out on the way to state. But I need to dig a little further into that. But it's looking more than likely Shiner and Refugio rematch in region finals. which then all roads lead to Timpson at that point. Timpson seems to be the team to beat coming out this 2A division, and they're out of Region 3, and they got a lot of speed, and they also have a 4-star athlete on their team as well. So it's just a lot of good things shaping up for the playoffs. I know Billy's excited over there in Refugio. We're excited. So it'll be good.
Round 2, if they win, it's Shiner Mason.
Yeah.
So that, I mean,
what's Mason's record right now?
I do not know. I'd have to look it up, but I'm just looking at Padilla's projected playoff bracket here. And so you got Shiner and Mason in that same bracket with Three Rivers, Freer, Junction, Flatonia, and Santa Maria.
Depends on what Mason it is. If it was the Mason the years that Refugio was having some classics with to get to state, and then the years they got knocked off by Mason to go to state, that could be interesting for Shiner folks. If it's I want to say Mason's had a couple years here in the last couple where they took a couple losses and weren't quite as tough of a team. So I need to look into that a little bit more.
Shiner's coming in as the second place team in that district. That's what they haven't projected as the second place team. And
the winner.
Who won that one? 15A is that's the wrong district. Hang on, 15. I looked at the wrong one. Mason 14A. Actually, 14A. They're coming as the winner of that district. Sorry, I take that back. It doesn't show what the record is. I'm just looking at the bracket.
Well, if you go off Mason's pedigree in the past, they could give Shiner some problems.
Yeah, they could, and it's definitely not the same Shiner team as it was last year. Is it a different team minus Doug? You know, because Doug was the MVP on the defensive side of the ball in the state game a couple years ago, and you know he was a force on the offensive side of the ball. So I mean, is that the missing link in this case? That it's not the same team? Is it the subtraction of Doug Brooks?
It hurts when you lose a guy like Doug, no doubt.
Anything else? Anybody else got any comments on the Shiner Refugio game? All right, without further ado, helmet stickers. Coaches, high school and youth, let 97 Sports Promotions handle your helmet needs by outfitting your helmets with their premium 3M 20 mil helmet decals. From the classic looks to the modern chrome and metallic flake to the new ghost printed decals. They can even help you with a custom design if you're looking for something new. 97 Sports Promotions is also your go-to for mini helmets as they have specialized in since 2006. And we can speak for that, right? If you guys have been following us lately, they are providing our Player of the Week trophies, which is, I think, something very unique, right? It's the mini helmet design.
Cool, man.
They're perfect gifts for fundraisers, end of season awards, and banquet gifts. Give 97 Sports Promotions and Doug Carter a try for your next helmet makeover. Man, very good on pricing. Doug is very, very good on pricing. Coaches, I recommend you guys give a shout out to Doug. Reach out to him at 97 Sports Promotions if you're interested in changing your decals this year, trying something different. You will be.
He'll work with you. He'll work with you.
Be pleasantly surprised on that bottom line. Pleasantly surprised. I was. So again, yeah. So he's hooking us up with the Player of the Week trophies that is presented by Elite Tank Solutions. So thank you, Elite Tank Solutions, for doing that for us as well. We will not. We'll jump into that here in a little bit. Let's jump into the helmets. We got about 13 kids this week. So man, it's about an 9-minute reel. So let's get it going. Nice touch.
Very nice. He had a really good game this game, man. He's huge for that guy.
Yep. And I put him up here just because he got my helmet sticker for his performance Friday night. But I just wanted to let you guys who didn't see the game, see what he did this game.
That's some clutch plays. This one right here.
This game winner right here.
Big hit too. It's cool by using your own footage.
Yeah. This is actually my footage from the sideline, so it's actually pretty cool. We can use ours.
You start tapping the ACs from that footage. Got that new camera.
Oh yeah.
Full field here. Handoff to Bland. Up the middle. Finds a hole. Gets away. And he is all alone. 50, 40, 30, 20. And he will take it home.
That fourth and one right here.
That 4th and 1 play right here.
Good up. The rush. Bland pulls it in. First down all by himself. To the 30. To the 50. And Bland to the 20. 10. Touchdown.
Huge run.
Switch around, goes underneath. Here comes Bland to the near.
Bye-bye.
Bland
Nice
made the
play,
hole.
dude. Bye-bye.
And he is gone. Touchdown, Refugio.
What a game, right?
I know.
Gaza.
Nice one-handed grab there. Heck, been kind of quiet this year, you know.
Well, quiet in that offense over there, which is surprising. They got tons of weapons they dished to.
Yeah.
Nice cut. Good speed. Always. This dude had a game.
Yep. This one, man, this was it was
crazy,
disaster
right?
on this play, yeah.
I love that slant with him, man. Golly.
Skidmore Tynan jumping in here. Marcus Gabriel's been pretty quiet this year. 22 tackles, man.
22 tackles, 364 rushes, 3 TDs. Heck of a game. It's called dominating on both sides of the ball.
Dude, no kidding. And this was against Kennedy, I believe.
What was the final?
It was a big deficit. Oh, actually it wasn't. It was 33-32.
Wow. Pretty good game.
Yeah.
Skidmore's been a little quiet this year.
What's that?
Skidmore's been quiet kind of the past couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, every blue moon they'll have a really good season. This was their first move down to 2A this year, remember?
Yep.
And they're in that district with Refugio and Shiner, Kennedy, Ganado.
Funny thinking about them just now moving to 2A. You think they'd live there?
Yeah.
Things happen though with Marcus Gabriel. Nice cut.
Oscar Martinez, twin brother of Lockwood's quarterback, Osmar.
They look identical. Only thing that distinguishes them is the pink bats from Osmar.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to McKee rich.
So here's that atmosphere we talked about at the Battle of the Arroyo. He's up
They don't even do it justice.
No. This is from our guy, Gabe DeLeon, who's down there. He was on the sidelines of this one.
What? You see what you tweeted in there? Marcus Gabriel is deaf?
Oh, wow.
That's impressive. Yeah, he is a stud, dude. Love them Harlingen black jerseys, man.
Oh, I know.
Gerald, the flyover with the helicopter was insane. Mara, he's kind of a frequent flyer on this list right here.
He is. He is.
His
That's why you're
in the mail.
You put your sticker in the mail again, bud.
Yeah. Hey, those things are a hot commodity, dude. Someone probably stole it.
And Luke Johnson, both sides of the ball. Yeah, used him a lot more at wide receiver this year, which you put your best players on the field to make plays, right?
Yep. Can't not like Luke, dude. He's been around for a while. He's always played really well since freshman. I mean,
Yep. That's the final play of the ball game there.
we gave him a tall task, dude, and he did well.
Yep.
Did very good. That's Lopez finally coming out a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, so we're gonna get all that in personal, huh?
Yeah. We'll see that on Friday.
I
Maybe. Right?
should. Come on, pal.
Another 6-man.
And they're all over it now.
Yep.
I wonder what their record is.
It was, I have it here. Hang on. They play Annapolis this week. I want to say they were, and this is their last game of the regular season this week. They're 5-3. Annapolis is 6-2.
Pretty good little matchup.
Yeah, and their playoffs will start November 11th or the 12th. So with a win over Annapolis this week, they'll jump into the second seed.
This is like a Christian 6-man league, right?
I think so.
Private 6-man. It's not like the UIL 6-man.
We're getting there, Trenton. We're getting there.
Play that shit on TNT.
Yeah, here's the record breaker right here.
Good, clean run, right?
Yeah, again, congratulations, Mr. Huff, on eclipsing that 2,000-yard mark. Justin, who do you got?
So I came in with Jade Moreno. I thought his performance, merited a little bit there. And then I took Aiden Jacobson. And then I had originally pegged someone else, but then I started thinking back on it, and I'm going to go with Luke Johnson for that third one for me this week. Because the receiver got the award over there. But I thought, hey, dude, when you really think back on that game, like, yeah, Lonnie got yardage on him and whatnot, but Luke played a pretty crucial role in slowing Lonnie up a little bit, and I think that deserves some merit. And he's been around for a while, so I think I'm going to go Jaden, Luke, and Aiden Jacobson. I couldn't deny the 6 touchdowns from Aiden.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so we'll get those in the mail.
Okay, actually,
when I be able to deliver them.
Yeah, we'll be able to. Right? Will we?
I
Let's
can
see.
deliver most of those.
Maybe. Yeah, you can give one out on Friday for sure to Aiden.
Yeah.
And so mine, I will not be able to deliver mine. I'm giving out 2 because I gave one out Friday, and that was to Jaden Castaneda. My 2 will go to Isaiah Bell down in Harlingen for his performance, and Marcus Gabriel at Skidmore for that outstanding 2-sided performance in that game. And that is an interesting piece. I don't know if you heard that over the music, but Coach McHugh chiming in here that Mr. Gabriel is deaf.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know how we could make that happen, but I think that would be an interesting one to get after the season.
I think so. Yeah,
I think his dad's a coach. Correct us if we're wrong, right? We'd heard something like that.
Yeah,
maybe he could come in and we could get that kind of set up and relay just how it is and how it works, because that's interesting. You don't see that all the time, right? It's a game where you kind of need to be able to hear. And
Austin,
like that's kind of crazy.
Austin has a school for the deaf where they have a football team. It's in Central Austin somewhere. Melissa, if you're still here, I know you're kind of plugged into that stuff. Man, I can't remember. There was a big story about them a few years ago, and how they're getting their plays in and things like that. Man, correct me if I'm
Signals for sure,
yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a guy in the NFL, a tight end or something that was deaf a few years ago, or he was a D1 college athlete, or man,
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was like somewhere in like one of the North Dakota or South Dakota state team, something like that. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I just, what about like there's a lot to it though, the whistle. I mean,
yeah,
in general, playing to the whistle. It would be interesting just to see how they work around that and what's you know, the
yeah,
the MO there.
yeah.
That's cool. That is cool though.
So congratulations, gentlemen. Isaiah, yours is in the mail now because I had to send something to Coach Aguilar. He bought a hat from us, so I kind of let the cat out of the bag a day early and let Coach Aguilar know that was heading his way. So he should have that by Friday. I don't know if you've seen this cat's helmet, though. I don't know if he's going to have any room to put it on. Kid's helmet is essentially red on a white helmet just because all the stickers he's got from the season. He's their bell cow this year.
He's gonna be like off of Talladega Nights when he threw the Wonder Bread sticker on the windshield.
On the windshield, yeah. Okay, so that actually, before we go, I want to show y'all before we jump on to the next one. I just want to show you, for so you guys who have not seen it, our mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotion, our Player of the Week awards, which should be here tomorrow. Justin, I just got an update on them. They will be here tomorrow.
We can go start handing those out. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So, and that I do want to get out and show the folks. There it is, right there. So
Very
nice little helmet. Oh, there's Huffy's. There's sponsors logo, Elite Tank Solutions logo on the other side. Player of the Week on the back, and of course the acronym, right? South Texas Football Unlimited, right?
Twisted.
Yeah. Okay, so our game of the week for this week, and we've kind of hit on it already, was Eagleside versus Orange Grove. What are your thoughts off this thing right away?
7-1 Ingleside, 2-0 in district, 5-3 OG, 1-1 in district. Like I said before, with OG, I have a hard time, pegging them out. But I looked at some of the things, right? They both lost to Rockport, and they both have a similar win over West Oso. That being said, though, Ingleside's averaging 46, allowing 16. Orange Grove's averaging 28, allowing 22. I think at the end of the day, I think I got Ingleside here by a couple scores. I think that offense that Ingleside's turning out right now is going to be the difference maker, and I think their defense is, that defense is getting kind of overlooked. If you start looking at their wins and stuff, they're only allowing 16 points a game. So I'm gonna go with Ingleside here. I think they continue to make that push for the district championship, which, if they get past this one right here, it sets up the Sinton matchup, and that's for all the marbles, right? So I'm gonna take Ingleside in this one. I'm gonna lean pretty heavy with them.
Oh man, I do not know who to pick in this one.
Who's back?
Actually, Rebecca is picking Orange Grove. I think I'm going to side with her on this one.
Wow.
Dude, she hasn't been wrong, right? Very rarely. So I'm going to go with Orange Grove on this one too. And then I'm actually writing her picks down because she sent a whole sheet in. She's doing these whole sheet. People are asking her for pick advice now, so I'm having to go through this and see who she's picking. My comment on that one, and I know it's very obvious and it's a very dumbed down comment, is what defense is going to come in and make the stops when they have to, right? Because we, just like you said, both these teams are putting up a lot of points, right? Even in losses, they're putting up a lot of points. So it's just which one will make the most stops when it counts. And I think Orange Grove's defense, they have, and that's not knocking Ingleside's defense, because they can play some defense. They've got some ball players on that side of the ball. I just think I think Orange Grove is going to kind of outlast them in this one. And if it's a ball control offense, they kind of mirror each other, right? They can sling it around and they both keep it on the ground when they have to. And Ingleside's doing that as well.
Yeah.
I think Orange Grove will just hold the ball a little bit longer. I think that's what I think. And then she didn't pick this one because she didn't answer that one. Okay. All right. So noteworthy games the next week. A big one. It's not even in our area. but it's going to play something down the line, and that is Bernie at Somerset.
Yep.
Number 4, Bernie. Am I correct? 3,
I actually,
5.
I think
They're ranked behind Cal Allen.
it's either Callan's 3, they're 4, or they're 5 and Callan's 4. Either way, it's like right
Yeah.
there, right in the middle of the mix. 8-0, 3-0 in district. Somerset 7-1, 3-0 in district.
And Somerset was a top 10 team they had a cup of coffee in the top 10, but lost to that Antonian prep team, who, thank you, Trendon, number 4, who's kind of, it's a private school, right? And depending who you listen to or if you were there, maybe should have lost that game. But some claims of bad officiating in that game. People were getting flags for going to the concession stand, right? That's what the talk was out there, right? So should they have gotten knocked that bad, or should they not be back in the top 10? I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have gotten knocked out. Somerset's got a very, very strong team. This game is essentially for the district championship there. And Somerset, talking about these environments, Somerset's pulling out all the stops. They're having that's their homecoming game. They're having a big tailgate thing out there. This thing is going to get intense. I'd like to go to it. I kind of flirted it with the idea on heading out there on Friday. Yeah, and check it out. We've got some fans up there. Jaden Foz is a playmaker, number 7, state track competitor, and just dangerous when he touches the ball, man. Very fast kid. I think he opened up their scoring last week with a little pitch out screen, bubble screen out, but had a couple kick returns for touchdowns. I mean, very good athlete. And Bernie, I mean, what can we say? What can't we say about Bernie, right? You saw him early in the season. Flower Bluff saw him. I mean, we've had some mutual opponents, different results, right? Flower Bluff.
I think that Flower Bluff, when you look back on that game with Flower Bluff, was pretty close, but I don't think it tells the tape of who Bernie is now. You got to keep in mind that they were starting a sophomore quarterback, I think, and that was his first varsity start, right? And in that game as well, he's grown up a lot. I think this is going to be a good game. I mean, no way around it.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning Bernie here pretty hard. I'm pretty high on Bernie. I think they're going to make a excellent push in the playoffs. Like I said, I think they're the top threat, honestly, for our guys down here in that region. So I think Somerset's a really good team. It's going to be interesting to see if Bernie comes out and handles Somerset. If they handle Somerset like decisively, that could be scary for what we're looking at in that region.
Let's see what this bracket's going to look like here.
They match up very close. Bernie's averaging 45, allowing 15. Somerset's averaging 39, allowing 14. I'm just going with the pedigree. I think, I feel bad, right? Because we have the Somerset fan base that has been very interactive with us. But I think Bernie's just playing really good ball right now. And they look scary. They got good size everywhere, which Somerset apparently has some good size, like Robbie Chavez said. So, I don't know. Bernie comes out and handles Somerset. It could be very scary for our guys in this region. If Somerset makes it close, then who knows? It could be wide open in the region.
I think they've got this district wrong on here. Yeah, they.
Well, Alice is going to get Bernie week 2. If Bernie wins, Alice is going to get Bernie week 2 in the playoffs, I believe.
Yeah, they've got them in the wrong. So they've got Bernie as 14A, which is the winner, and they've got Somerset at 13B.
Yeah, they'd be in the Cal Allen side.
But what I'm saying is it's the district 13 and 14. They have them in separate districts on this bracket.
That's their mistake.
Which is not the case, right? So Somerset would have Lampasas the first round.
And they'd probably be on the Cal Allen side, I believe.
Yep. So that would be the second round, would be the Cal Allen Rockport winner, and that's projecting Rockport getting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's what you've got there, and then that top half. It's going to be interesting, dude.
This should be a good game, and like I said, if Bernie comes out and handles them, it could be scary.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Somerset in this one, dude. I'm gonna wear the Homer hat in this one because our boy Strunk is over there as the athletic director.
That's fair.
And that's who I'm gonna go with. I just because we've kind of seen them. You've seen Bernie as well, right? It's gonna be a damn good game, dude. I hope it's everything we ask for and we hope and wish for. That it's close, that it's not a blowout, and man, I hope it comes down to the last play. We'll see.
It is a blowout. It could be scary.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That definitely will should turn some heads in the region if that's what happens.
Yeah.
Next game, San Diego versus Rio Hondo. This district is kind of in flux as well, with Rio Hondo beating Falfurrias last week. I think we had Falfurrias penciled in to win the district.
Yeah, we did.
Up until last week. Rio Hondo's 3-0, San Diego 2-1 with the loss to Lyford, right? Last week.
Yeah. Lyford's a foul.
So here's how the district finishes out, right? Next week, right? After this week, San Diego finishes off with foul, and Rio Hondo finishes off with Lyford. So the seedings and everything will get shaken out next week, depending what happens today, right? I mean, if or Friday, if Rio Hondo wins, I don't think there's a way they can lose.
If Rio
district.
Hondo wins, they should win district.
Yeah.
If San Diego wins, then that's going to throw a big wrench. And that's when you're going to start having to then go. And at that point, you're going to be adding up numbers.
Actually, I think it would be a tie, right? So if Rio Hondo loses this week, they go into Lyford 3-1. If Lyford wins this week, they go in 3-1 for that last game of the season. And
Foul and San Diego both going at 3-1.
What a mess! Wow.
But I mean, I was gonna say hypothetically, Foul wins, they're 4-1. Lyford wins, they're 4-1. Then I guess it goes to Foul because they beat Lyford.
Yeah. Who's the district chair there? Can we have your tiebreaker on what goes on for this one and proceeding? Is it points? What is it?
It depends what happens on this game. This game really, if Rio Honda wins this, they should be the outright DC.
Yeah.
I don't see it really slipping up.
Oh man, I missed the game. Yeah, I'm gonna go with San Diego on this one. Just because
San Diego too.
Yeah, just because I know what they bring. I don't know what Rio Hondo brings. They've got the record's deceiving. We talked about it last week. They've had some very good losses. If you want to call a good loss a good loss, they've had a good loss. They have good losses, tough teams, bigger schools. But I think San Diego and our guy down there, RJ, I think they're going to take care of business. And then
I'm not gonna lie, dude. San Diego's probably should be mad at me. Their two losses pivot off of me picking them.
So are you going to go against them this week?
No, I'm still taking them. Sorry.
And then the game I missed, which was a surprise, is Miller Victoria West. Miller has not clinched a playoff spot yet.
Yeah, it's weird, but
which is weird, right?
Yeah, so you got you way it's shaped out. It's East, West, and Miller. They're all 4-1 in district, so they're fine, right? And East lost to Miller, so Miller's got that tiebreaker over them. So if Miller comes out, which I think they will, and handle West, that will pretty much seal up Miller being the. They technically do have a playoff spot as the 4th seed right now, if you look at it, but they can clinch the 2nd seed pretty quick if they get this win over West, which I think they will. I think they bounce back, man. And
I think so too.
I'm actually taking Miller in a pretty good one. I'm taking them I got them over here by about 4 scores on West. So I think they'll handle that and get into the 2nd seed, and then hopefully that starts the progress towards that rematch with Veterans.
Yeah, so Stephen Foss is actually happy you did not pick Somerset then, based off your San Diego picks. So that's good. That's a good omen for them, I guess.
That's fair.
I've got Miller in this one as well. Victoria West 4-1 in district. But I said this last week. I think they bounce back. I think Miller bounces back, and they're upset with the way things ended last week, and I feel sorry for Victoria West.
For sure.
That's what I think. Rebecca's got Miller in that one as well, and she also has San Diego in the San Diego Rio Hondo game. And then all 15 4A D1 games, everybody is 2-1, or 1-2, or 2-1. So you got Floresville against Pleasanton, Floresville 1-2, Pleasanton 1-2. You got Beeville versus Lavernia, Vernia 3-0, Beeville 2-1. And then you've got Rockport Fulton and Port Lavaca. Rockport's 1-2, Port Lavaca's 1-2. So this district will not come down, be solved out till next week.
Next week's when we get solved out. If Rockport wants any chance, they got to win out. Which the last week's Lavernia, who's 3-0 right now.
Yep. So
you're picking the toughest team maybe from that district to get a win over. Which keep in mind, Lavernia beat Sinton earlier in the year, so they are a very good team. They're a tough team.
Yep. And it was a come from behind win at that one, right? So it wasn't. So man, I'm not going to pick any of these games. I just wanted to say that they're out there.
Yeah.
They're very
Oh,
noteworthy games.
it's a spaghetti bowl, man. Anything can happen in that district. You know what I mean? You're on the outside looking in, but a couple things fall the right way, you could be sitting there going in, and vice versa. You could be sitting there left on the side of the road come playoff time. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's just something people should keep an eye on if you're interested in high school football. And honestly, we got about 3 to 4 possible, about at least 3 good matchups we could have all for regional finals if everything plays out as well down here. So just little things to start looking at as the playoffs get near.
Yeah, it could be, and some of the teams we haven't talked about yet. And man, I guess next week we do a playoff show,
Yeah.
right? And let's not do any unless they're kind
Well,
of
there's some games that could warrant DC,
yeah,
like UP Fly
yeah,
Bluff. That's going to be a battle of district championship right there, and then
yeah. So you got
there's
a
some
couple,
games that have some
but
merit.
I mean, I think we changed the format next week and just kind of we'll touch these district championship implication games for the 1 and 2 seeds, and then
Start looking at the playoffs.
we kind of start looking ahead. I think, man. I mean, we're not coaches, we're not players. We can do that, right? We can start looking ahead and see what the road. We should have a clearer picture of where some of these projections, if they line out where they need to or whatnot. So
Definitely.
I think, yeah, man. So guys, if you guys got anything to throw at us, any inside information, we do not share information, guys. By the way, some of this stuff that goes on, anyways, we're not a couple of schoolgirls at lunchtime. We don't spill all the tea. Right. But guys, if you guys got anything to throw at us, some information on some teams or whatnot, or anything you guys want brought up, man, let us know. We're here. Jump in the chat. Let us know. Guys, thanks for tuning in at this middle of the day lunchtime show. We actually had about 20 something people in the room at one time, man. So that's pretty good, man. I think last time we had like 5. So again, guys, thanks for the interaction. And just like we tell everybody else, man, we do this for the kids, man. We do this to get exposure for our kids for the Coastal Bend, because when we started this thing, we thought we were an overlooked area. And we're starting to see kids get noticed, man. Luke Johnson, for instance, man, has got a lot of interest. Lonnie Atkinson getting a lot of interest. Man, there's some kids that should be getting a lot more interest, man. Gabe Juarez down at GP, man. He's having an outstanding year.
Yep.
You've got Cooper Dawkins just went up to Oklahoma 2 weeks ago on a visit, got invited up to Oklahoma on a visit. Yep. So kids are getting looked at, man. Kids are getting exposed out here. So guys, thanks again for tuning in. Justin, you got anything before we go?
No, man, just keep on grinding. We're getting closer to the playoffs. It's shaping up good.
We will be at Ingleside Friday night.
Orange Grove.
That's right. Or we'll be at Orange Grove for Ingleside, Orange Grove.
Should get a poll on where we should eat at.
Yeah. Hey, so what's the chicken fried steak place there in Orange Grove? We were going to head at Las Milpas, number 85 there in Orange Grove, but we heard there's a good chicken fried steak spot out there, man. So we may have to grab one of those pregame. Hit us up in the messages or whatever. Let us know. Guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.